Wait, so you're telling me you want to live in Myrtle Beach? You're considering the thought of moving to Myrtle Beach? Pretty cool. But you need to watch this first. Let's go. Okay, what's up everybody? I'm Chuck McDonald. Thanks for watching Freedom Wanderer. I'm happy you are here with me today. I've had this video on my mind for a little while because a lot of people, a lot of my friends, family, since I've moved here to Myrtle Beach are always asking me what I think, what do I like, what do I don't like, what's going on down there, all that good stuff, right? So I figured I'd put a video together for you guys who are considering moving down to Myrtle Beach. So if you've never seen our channel before, I'm Chuck McDonald. How are you? This is basically my life. This is us taking my kids out to the beach, going scuba diving, getting into an adventure, traveling, whatever. So anyway, welcome to my channel. Please consider subscribing. It always helps out. As always. And so here's the way I'm going to do it now. First, let me put a little disclaimer out there. This is not for realty. So if you're looking at purchasing property or the cost of living and the demographics and all that stuff, you need to get in touch with a realtor. And if you're looking for a realtor, I have a friend. She helped us buy this house we're living in here in Myrtle Beach. I'll be more than happy to give you her information. She'll help you find whatever it is you're looking for in whatever demographic you're looking for, okay? This is basically, I'm going to do 5 pros and 5 cons personally for me living here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It'll give you some information maybe you don't get from other videos like this about the area. Some of those, good produced videos that show you all the beauty of living in Myrtle Beach. Well, living anywhere has its cons as well. And I'm not here to be a negative Nancy, just so you know what it's like living here in Myrtle Beach. Okay, so we're going to do 5 pros, 5 cons. We'll start with the cons first. We'll get the negativity out of the way and we'll end on a positive note. So that's what this video is going to be about. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get into our cons. The downsides, I feel, the things that are kind of negative toward living here in Myrtle Beach. So if you're watching this, if you've probably heard of Myrtle Beach from wherever you are. You may have visited here. We're popular for spring breaks and bike weeks and bike rallies and other things. And so you come down here and you have a good time and you get caught up into the Myrtle Beach area, downtown Myrtle Beach. So let's talk about Myrtle Beach in that the Grand Strand area, basically the general area that surrounds Myrtle Beach, is from Little River, which touches North Carolina, all the way down to say around Pawleys Island. So you've got Little River, North Myrtle Beach, Surfside, Garden City, Murrells Inlet, and Pawleys Island, right? So it all kind of blends in that area, and a lot of people live in those areas. So when you come down here on vacation, you think paradise. Okay, I wouldn't consider it a paradise for these 5 cons. Number 1, the weather. Okay, we do have winter. There is a winter here. So, like, we just went through a real bad cold snap, and I think it got down to like 18 degrees at night for a few nights. Okay, that's cold. For us Southerners, that is cold, my friend. Now, we do have a large population of people down here that move from Canada and the northern states, and they come here, and that really doesn't bother them. I get that. I understand that completely. But if you're going to move here from somewhere else, that you think it's 80 degrees here every day and you get to go swimming in the ocean every day, that's not a thing. I took my grandkids want to go to the beach so bad, but the water temperature is like 55-ish degrees. That's really, really cold. So it's not sunny days every day. It's not sunny days laying on the beach, swimming in the ocean, surfing and all that stuff. We do have a winter. It gets cold. There are possibilities of snow at times, freezing weather. And for us Southerners, we don't really like it. So just so you know, we do have a winter, and that does not make it paradise year-round. Hey Leia, was it cold last week? How cold?
Like 100.
Like 100. That's top of the charts cold, right? All right, so number 2 on our list of cons about living in the Myrtle Beach area is diversity. Now, when I say diversity, you're going to think ethnic. You're going to think different cultures of people, nationalities, races, all that stuff. It's not really what I'm talking about. We have a huge Latino community here. Caucasian, white, black. I mean, we got it all here basically, right? We have our normal crowd, but that's not what I'm talking about. You got to understand Myrtle Beach is in South Carolina. We are in the heart of the deep South in South Carolina. And what happens is a lot of people from up north and in Canada love to move down here to get out of the snow and the brutal winters. And I get that. You're more than welcome here. I love you. Please come move down here. But when you get down here, realize you're in the South, okay? Things move at a much slower pace here. People say yes sir and yes ma'am and y'all and yonder, and we're from the South. That's what happens. So there is a huge diversity down here, and if you're going to move here from somewhere else in the country, in the world, we're different here. We're still in the South. Myrtle Beach is still the Myrtle Beach area at large, even inward into Conway and Aner. And we're in the South, guys. People love to hunt and fish. And we wear flannel shirts and, blue jeans and all that good stuff. So diversity can be a con if you come here and want to interject your lifestyle from where you're from into here. Things kind of flow here a little different. So it could be a con for some people. So it's not too much of a negative, but understand you're in the South. Okay, our third con is probably going to be a downside to anywhere you move on the coast. Okay, to live here can get expensive, especially when it comes to housing. The closer you get to the beach, the more expensive it is going to be to live there. Now, a lot of people who move here check into those things. Like I say, this is not a video about the economics of the area, basically, or, trying to be a real estate agent for you guys. I'm not that. But understand it is expensive to live here. And during the tourist season, prices go up. When the tourist season is over with, prices level out just a little bit, okay? So when it comes to living here, you're going to have to look into how much it's going to cost you. Now, when you become a local and you do move here, learn how to kind of get around those things. But it is something you're going to have to look into, right? You're going to have to learn how to shop here, shop there, go around here, go around there to get better prices. So it can be a little bit of a downside to moving here. Yep, okay, we're doing 5 cons. This is number 4 on my list, not necessarily in any order. Tourism. Welcome to Myrtle Beach. If you know anything about Myrtle Beach, it's probably because you're a tourist and you came here at some point in time and stayed downtown with all the big hotels and the big sky wheel and all the stuff you can get into as a tourist. Yes, that happens between Easter and Labor Day. Is our big tourist season, and yes, we are packed with tourists from all over the world. Love to come to Myrtle Beach and take in all the touristy things. Now, if you're a local, you understand. We don't go mess in all the touristy attractions during tourist season. We try to stay away from those places. You try to understand when it's bike week. You don't want to go around where all the bikers hang. Not that they're bad, but it's just crowded. And during spring break, all the spring breakers are out on the beach in Myrtle Beach, loading it up, and they're riding their motorcycles down the boulevard, and, there's half-dressed women everywhere and a lot of partying going on. So you have to understand this is a tourist trap, and you have to learn to kind of work around those areas at certain times of the season. Okay, this is a con I'm going to throw on here because a lot of people are not going to talk about this. They're not going to tell you about this because this is like one of those taboo things you don't talk about. Let's talk about politics. If you come to Myrtle Beach in the Grand Strand area, when you get down here, please understand, people have political views, and they are more than happy to express to you what those are. And they are more than happy to tell you how wrong you are if you disagree with them. So just understand, if you move here, it's not the tourist attraction. Once you get here, this is a very, very political place, and they love pushing their agendas and their ideologies and their ideas. No matter which side of the fence you're on, you're going to get into those conversations at the gas station, standing in line at Walmart, going grocery shopping, whatever. If you're down just trying to buy you a new t-shirt, you're liable to run into somebody who's got a view, a hat, a shirt on, something that lets you know I'm on this side. Okay, so I'm not one that's into a lot of that stuff. So if you're like me, this may be a con that can help you out. Understand, when you get here, it's a very political area. All right. Enough of the negative talk, right? Okay, let's get into some pros about living here. If you're thinking about living here, it's because you've come here, you've experienced the area, and you loved it, and that's great. And so there are some great pros to living in the Myrtle Beach area. Number one, the reason we all come here, the ocean, right? Tons of beaches and sand, and you can go shell hunting or laying in the sun all day long and swimming in the ocean. There's tons of water around here. If you're into water sports, there's the Intercoastal Waterway. There's offshore fishing and jet skiing and all parasailing and all the stuff that comes with being close to the beach. No matter where you go, what community you're in, up and down the East Coast, West Coast, Gulf Coast, doesn't matter. You go because you love the ocean and you love to hear the waves roll in up on the beach, right? So of course, one of our biggest pros is going to be the ocean. And just here, year round, whether it's hot or cold, you can play around it as much as you want. Okay, so let's hit on this. In one of my cons, I talked about how expensive it is to live here, but a pro to that is we have a booming economy here, okay? We're on the coast, and it works a little bit different than most of the inland parts of South Carolina, because I grew up in the country out in South Carolina. We have a booming economy, man. Anything you want to get into, you can basically find a job here if that's what you're looking for, or if you're a small business owner and you want to open up a shop somewhere or a business somehow. That's my granddaughter in the background. You can make money here, and you can make the money even though it's expensive. Our economy is great. Tourism is great. Even though the inflation's going out the roof, we still do pretty good. I'm a small business owner here, and I do great. I'm telling you, our economy here is great. It is a great pro to move into our area. Another pro to being here in Myrtle Beach, trust me, being a grandfather of 6 granddaughters, I am raising 4, which I live with them here in Myrtle Beach. Plenty to do, okay? There are plenty of things to do. When tourist season is over with, all the things that the tourists come to do, like Barefoot Landing, Broadway at the beach, the aquarium, the beaches are more open. The parks, like the state parks that we go to, are always open. There is always something to get into. If you move here and you're bored, it's because you don't want to do anything. I mean, we have minor league baseball like I get to go to, that I love to do, and scuba diving, offshore fishing. If you're a land lover, people love to hunt for shark's teeth and stuff on the beach, and anything, shopping. There's malls, tons of restaurants. Like, you can get into basically anything. You can always have something to do and always have a place to go. Pretty much anybody out there, what you like to do, it's here. Okay, so one thing maybe people won't talk about is Myrtle Beach is a good halfway point. Now let me explain that. I got to explain a conversation with a friend I had. He comes from Pittsburgh. He moved to Florida, and he came back to Myrtle Beach and lives in the Conway area. And he told me he's what's called a halfbacker. I had never heard of that before in my life. But what it is he grew up north. He moved to Florida. It's too hot. So he moved to Myrtle Beach, which is about halfway. And if you look at the East Coast, basically from Boston down to Miami, or New York to Miami, I think New York is exactly as far away as Miami is, like a 13-hour drive, either way. So it's a great halfway point. You do have all 4 seasons. You have a real hot summer, spring and fall are beautiful, and winter can get rather cold. So you get all 4 seasons. It's considered a subtropical region, which means it's not tropical, it's not hot all the time. So it's a good halfway point if you just want to cool off, if you would like to move just a little bit further south to get into some nicer weather and get into more things you can do during the winter. It's a good halfway point. The Myrtle Beach area is a great place to live if that's what you're looking for. And finally, our 5th pro. Okay, so this is going to be geared more toward people who are looking to move here and you are still raising your family. Now, we do have a lot of people here who have come here to retire, although we don't have the retirement communities like you would see in Florida. Okay, when you go to Florida, there's retirement communities everywhere. You got to be 55 plus, right? We have those areas here, just not a lot. There's a lot of people who come over to retire. There's a lot of people who live here who are still raising their children. Okay, Myrtle Beach is not just a tourist trap. A lot of people live here, a lot of schools, and that's our 5th one, education. Okay, now this is I have to say this, South Carolina is horribly known for having horrible education. And it's true. We rank really bad in the national scheme of things. So if you're going to move here, you need to check into where you want to put your kids in school. If you're raising a family, if you're not raising a family, it doesn't really matter. But if you're going to raise a family, you need to check really close into the education. And there are some great schools here in this area. My grandkids go to the best one, which is St. James School District. And so if you're going to raise your family here, I want to let you know there is some great education in the Myrtle Beach area. You're going to have to check into it. You're going to make sure you want to move to where your kids can go to the school you're looking at, or be willing to pay the cross. It's a fee you can pay to put them in a different school district. You know, those are things you would have to look into. But I will tell you, a pro of being around here and being in the state of South Carolina is it's probably the best education we have in the state. Straight up. And in the Piedmont region of the state, or what we call the northern part of the state, the western part of the state, there's some great education there too. Down in Charleston, I get that. If you're going to raise your family here, realize there is great education here. There are not just you know, elementary and junior and high school. We have Coastal Carolina University right here in Conway on 544. It's a great university. There's a lot of technical colleges in the area. Great to get into if you want to do a technical field. So understand that being here in Myrtle Beach, a good pro, I feel. I'm raising 4 grandkids right here in Myrtle Beach area. We looked at education when we decided to buy this property and where we were going to move to in this area. So education is also a good part of being in this area. It's a great education system for our state. All right, so I'll walk around now. That's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I am so happy you came and joined me. I hope this video was educational for you. I really tried to hit on points that maybe you don't see on a lot of videos from people trying to sell property in the area, right? There are some real pros and cons, and these 5 pros, 5 cons are my personal ones that when I sat down and thought about this video, I thought, this is what I would have liked to have known moving into the area, which I did because I grew up about an hour away from here. So I've kind of been in the Myrtle Beach area my whole life. You know, it was nothing for us to take off on a Saturday, run out, go to the beach, and come back home. It was just an hour's drive, right? But to live in the area, to live with the people, this things I wish I would have known. And now, you know. So If there's any questions, if you're watching this, if there's any questions you may have about living here that I didn't cover, please leave them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Or if I don't know, tell you I don't know and try to find you the answer. Once again, if you're looking to move here and you are looking for a realtor, I have a friend. She's the one we use to buy this house. She's been a friend for a really long time. She's great. I'll give you all her information and she can answer any demographic questions or price questions or, all the realty answers. I can give you her information and she will hook you up, right? She'll be more than happy to sell you a house. Okay? So anyway, love you guys. Appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate you guys. I'm so grateful you're here and joining me at Freedom Wanderer and the fun we get into and the stuff we get into. Got some adventures lined up coming up. Going to get into some stuff and I'm going to enjoy taking you along with me. So thank you. Love you, mean it. And we'll see you in the next adventure. Remember, life is an adventure. You got to get off the couch and go live it. See you in the adventure, my friends. Oh, sound good. Toys, huh? Yep. A perfect concept. Riley always oh, still, she's sucks. Good job. That's why you gotta take your time and live.